All right, welcome to the Moore County Board of Education regular business meeting on Monday, May 11th, for year 2026. It is a little bit after 4. Do we have a motion to approve the agenda? Not now? Okay. All right, my fault. I'm a little out of practice. Do we have a motion to move into closed session as stated on the agenda? Okay, do we have a second? All in favor say aye. Aye, okay, we'll move into closed session. All right, that was a little loud tonight. Board members, do we have a motion to move into open session?
So, second.
All right, we have a motion by Dr. Dahl, second by Ms. Davis. All in favor say aye. Aye. Now to the good part. It's great to see everyone tonight. Welcome. I just want to remind everyone that our vision for Moore County Schools is to be the first and best choice in education with an unwavering commitment to excellence, innovation, and ensuring the development of the leaders of tomorrow. Welcome. And so, do we have a motion to approve the agenda, board members? Okay, do we have a second? Dr. Dahl, is there a second? Mr. Benway is our motion. All in favor say aye. Aye. All right, I would like to introduce Principal Andy McCormick to introduce our special guest tonight.
Thank you, board members. Superintendent Purvis, it's my honor tonight to bring forward two of the seniors from our award-winning NJRTC program. Miss Emily Allman will present the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by Aiden Salazar with our inspiration.
Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may be seated.
There's a lot of enthusiasm out there.
Good evening, members of the board, staff, and parents. My name is Aiden Salazar, and I'm a cadet at the NJRTC unit at Union Pines High School. Tonight, I've been invited to speak briefly about inspiration and the impact that strong role models can have on students like me. One of the greatest things about NJRTC is that it teaches leadership through example. Every cadet looks up to someone, and for me, there have been a few people within the unit who have truly changed the way I view leadership and perseverance. Two of these people are Landon Patterson and Angel Apollinar. Landon taught me to always lead with compassion, and that the best leader was not the one who shouted the loudest, but the one who listened the best. Angel taught me that no matter what life throws your way, you always have to get back up and keep pushing. No matter how far he got set back, he always stood back up, refused to quit, and never forgot the mission. These cadets have inspired me to be a better person and a better leader. NJRTC is much more than uniforms and drill. It is a program that builds citizenship, character, and leadership through the people within it. These lessons I've learned from cadets like Landon Patterson, Angel Apollinar, and many others will stay with me long after high school. They've inspired me not only to become a better cadet, but also a better person. Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much. Ms. Davis, if you'll lead us in a moment of silence.
Yes, ma'am, thank you. If everyone would please join me in a moment of silence. Thank you.
And I'll turn it over to Mr. Batchelor for our recognitions.
Thank you, Board Chair Dr. Calcutt. At this time, would our board members please come to the front? Mr. Mr. Hensley and Miss Bruno. Sorry. And first, will we have Emily and Aiden please join our board members at the front.
Pauline.
As a token of appreciation, we are presenting these students with certificates for leading us in the Pledge of Allegiance and providing a wonderful inspiration to us all tonight. You get While they're shaking hands, I want to note, as people come up here to be recognized, feel free to hop up out of your chairs, come up to the middle, and take photos of them if you would like. Just make sure Miss Simon gets a good photo of them first, so I have some images too. At this time, would Mrs. Howe and Mrs. Myrick from Cranes Creek Middle please join our board members at the front. Courtney Howe is this month's Engage, Inspire, Succeed Certified Staff Honoree for Cranes Creek Middle School. Mrs. Howe brings exceptional talent, leadership, and a global perspective to her role as media specialist. National Board Certified in Library Media and also certified in art education, she enriches learning across disciplines. In her 6 years at Cranes Creek Middle, she has become a trusted mentor, coaching Battle of the Books, sponsoring Beta Club, and organizing international trips that expand student opportunities. Her experience teaching English in Japan for 5 years adds depth to her work with students. Mrs. Howe's dedication, creativity, and commitment make a lasting impact on students and our school community. Paula Myrick is this month's Engage, Inspire, Succeed Support Staff Honoree for Cranes Creek Middle School. As the bookkeeper at Cranes Creek, Mrs. Myrick is recognized for her efficiency, attention to detail, and dependable service. She consistently ensures that financial operations run smoothly while maintaining accuracy and organization. Known for her reliability and integrity, she serves as a trusted resource for staff and administration. Mrs. Myrick goes above and beyond to support others, always willing to assist whenever needed. Her strong work ethic and commitment make her an essential member of the Cranes Creek team, and her contributions are deeply valued across the school community. Would family members and Principal Campbell please stand as we recognize tonight's honorees. At this time, would Mrs. Nicholson and Miss Moeller from McDees Creek Elementary please join our board members at the front. Jacqueline Nicholson is this month's Engage, Inspire, Succeed Certified Staff Honoree for McDees Creek Elementary School. Selected as McDees Creek Elementary's Teacher of the Year, Mrs. Nicholson demonstrates excellence in both the classroom and school leadership. As a first grade teacher and grade level leader, she supports student growth while guiding her team with professionalism and care. She serves on the District Teacher Advisory Council, representing and supporting fellow educators, and contributes to M-Class testing and MTSS problem-solving efforts. Mrs. Nicholson is dedicated to ensuring students succeed academically and personally. Her expertise, leadership, and commitment make a meaningful impact on the McDees Creek school community. Kamika Moeller is this month's Engage, Inspire, Succeed Support Staff Honoree for McDees Creek Elementary. Ms. Moeller is the Teacher Assistant of the Year for McDees Creek and is being recognized for her dedication, reliability, and strong work ethic. She consistently supports students, assists teachers, and steps in wherever needed to ensure a positive learning environment. Her commitment to student success is evident in her daily interactions and her willingness to go above and beyond. Ms. Moeller's positive attitude and dependable nature make her a valued member of the school community, and her contributions have a meaningful impact throughout the building. Would family members and Principal Sovey please stand as we recognize tonight's honorees. Ms. Parrish-Wicker, Ms. Thomas, and Ms. Brady from Union Pines, please join our board members at the front. There's 3 on this. Rachel Parrish-Wicker is this month's Engage, Inspire, Succeed Certified Staff Honoree for Union Pines High School. Ms. Parrish-Wicker has dedicated the past 10 years to developing student success at Union Pines as an agriculture education teacher. She leads the largest FFA chapter in the county, demonstrating her ability to engage and inspire students. Her excellence in the classroom has been recognized through multiple CTE Teacher of the Year honors. Through her leadership, students gain valuable knowledge and skills that prepare them for future opportunities. Ms. Parrish-Wicker's commitment and expertise continue to strengthen a high-quality program that benefits both students and the school community. Beth Thomas and Kathy Brady are this month's Engage, Inspire, Succeed Support Staff honorees for Union Pines High School. Mrs. Thomas serves as the registrar at Union Pines and is known as the heart and soul of the entire campus. She has built a powerhouse student-to-student, also known as S2S, program that is recognized as one of the best in the country, consistently earning prestigious national titles for its excellence in supporting transitioning students. Additionally, she sponsors the Leo Club, fostering a spirit of community, service, and leadership in her students. Mrs. Thomas's unwavering dedication to the Viking family ensures that every person feels supported, seen, and at home. Her presence and commitment will truly be missed as she begins her well-deserved retirement. Mrs. Brady has provided dedicated service to Union Pines as data manager, ensuring accuracy and consistency in the systems that support daily operations. Her attention to detail and ability to manage complex processes have been essential to the school's success. She has approached every responsibility with professionalism and care, maintaining high standards over many years. Mrs. Brady's steady presence and commitment to the school community will greatly be missed as she enters retirement. We thank her for her service and wish her the very best in her next chapter. Would family members and Principal McCormick please stand as we recognize tonight's honorees. Smile again. That's not normal, but we'll let it slide. Oh no. At this time, with Kylie Cameron, please join our board members at the front. Kylie is this month's Engage, Inspire, Succeed student honoree for Union Pines High School. A senior at Union Pines, Kylie is recognized for her outstanding academic and athletic achievements. She maintains a 4.4 GPA and ranks 28th in her class of 351 students. A multi-sport athlete, she is committed to play Division II softball at Carson Newman University and is the school's all-time home run leader. Kylie also competed in volleyball and track and serves as secretary of the National Honor Society. She volunteers at Moore Regional Hospital and plans to major in biology. Kylie's dedication and accomplishments reflect her strong work ethic and commitment to success. Would family members and Principal McCormick please stand as we recognize tonight's honoree. And tonight we have a few additional recognitions. First, would all of our elementary students who are being recognized for their artwork please join our board members at the front. Your artwork should be on the right side. If you'll find your artwork and grab it and hold it in front of you. All right. Last year, the following students were selected to represent their schools with their artwork displayed in the boardroom at the central office for the 2025-2026 school year. Lucas from Aberdeen, Brooklyn from Cameron, Saul from Carthage, Avery from High Falls, Eleanor from McDeeds Creek, Caleb from Pinehurst, Abigail from Robbins, Benji from Sandhills Farm Life, Vivian from Southern Pines, Riley from Vast Lake View, Anna from West End, Wawa from West Pine, and Kobe from Westmore. For those who were unable to attend tonight's meeting, their artwork will be presented to them on behalf of the Board of Education at a later date. Would family members and school administrators please stand as we recognize all of our talented elementary artists. And at this time, can we have all of our middle and high school students being recognized for their artwork? Please come up and find your artwork at the front. You can feel free, like, she'll take a photo of them, and then you can hop up there anywhere you want. Just make sure she gets a good photo. while they are orchestrating a wonderful photo, I will start my reading. Last year, the following students were selected to represent their schools with their artwork displayed in the central office for the 2025-26 school year. Julie from Cranes Creek, Emily from Elise from New Century, Alina from Southern, Madeline from West Pine, Chloe from Westmore, Saul from Northmore, Olivia from Pinecrest, and Owen from Union Pines. For those who are unable to attend tonight's meeting, their artwork will be presented to them at a later date on behalf of the Board of Education. Would family members and school administrators please stand as we recognize tonight's secondary artists. And at this time, I'll go ahead and call up our last recognitions for tonight are our volunteer recognitions. So if you're here to be recognized as a volunteer from your school, please join our board members at the front. I'll also note you'll be getting one of the silver platters. If you'll just go up to Mr. Hensley and let him know what school you're from, they're in alphabetical order. And please grab the box after you're done. Just go up. If you're not, just tell them the school that you're from. The school. I know. It saves a lot of work on y'all and myself. And it's over the summer, I'm trying to get your write-ups, and then I have to make it. Exactly. So, it's wins all around. Can we try to make 2 rows? Or kind of diagonal a little bit? Just make sure you can see the dots on the phone there. And while they're doing that photo, I will start the reading. I first want to start off with reflecting on the history of the Eileen Van Sant Volunteer Award, which honors a legacy of selfless dedication to the children of our schools. Eileen Van Sant began her career as an educator in a one-room schoolhouse teaching grades 1 through 8. She devoted over 40 years to education before retiring to Southern Pines in 1995. Even in retirement, her passion for service never wavered. At the age of 81, she began volunteering at Southern Pines Elementary, demonstrating her steadfast commitment to education. In 2003, she was recognized with the North Carolina Governor's Award, and following her passing in 2004, our then volunteer coordinator, Linda Hubbard, established this award in her honor. We are honored to have Mrs. Van Sant's son with us tonight, this evening. Russ, if you would stand, so we can recognize you being here tonight. Thank you for joining us this evening, Russ. Moore County Schools is incredibly fortunate to have a strong and dedicated volunteer community. While you support our schools in many ways, perhaps the most meaningful role you play is serving as an example of servant leadership for our students. Your contributions enrich our schools, and we sincerely appreciate the time, talents, and energy you so generously give. Now, as we celebrate the 23rd annual recognition of the Eileen Van Sant's legacy, we are honored to present this year's Area 1 and Area 2 Volunteer Award recipients. Jean Boss from Cameron Elementary, Ashley Rettig from Carthage Elementary, Katie Wilson from the Community Learning Center at Pinckney, Dolores Dole Blackwell from Cranes Creek Middle, High Falls Parent-Teacher Organization for High Falls Elementary, Jessica Daffler, McDeeds Creek Elementary, Jamie Walker for New Century Middle, Jill Bingham from Northmore High, Grace Church for Robbins Elementary, Allison White for Sandhills Farm Life Elementary, Rhonda Bullock from Union Pines High, the Parent-Teacher Association for Vast Lakeview Elementary, and Kenneth Cranford for Westmore Elementary. Would family members and principals please stand as we recognize our Area 1 and 2 volunteers. At this time, if you'll just go around and shake the board members' hands and grab the green box. I don't know what's harder, the photos or
All right, we're going to take a 5-minute recess, and if you're still listening, I just want to say it's because of you and who you represent that makes us the best and first choice in education. Congratulations, everybody. All right, board members, let's move back into open session. That was so much fun. I know it's hard to settle down. We are at item 4, the consent agenda. And before we make a motion or have a motion to approve it, I do want to say that I need to recuse myself from item H, but I will vote on the remainder of the items. So at this time, do we have a motion to approve the consent agenda as listed?
So moved.
All right, motion by Ms. Davis. Do we have a second? Second by Dr. Dahl. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, motion carries. Thank you very much.
For the minutes, that vote needs to be recorded separately for the personnel report, item 4H, as a 6-0
Okay. All right, thank you, Mr.
with a
Schwartz.
recusal.
Appreciate that. All right, we're at item 5, public address to the board. And before we begin, I want us to remember that the Board of Education affirms its commitment to open communication and values input from all members of the community as an essential part of supporting our public schools. To ensure an orderly and respectful process, speakers are asked to follow established guidelines as outlined in Policy 2310, which includes but is not limited to limiting remarks to 3 minutes and maintaining appropriate non-disruptive conduct. Obscene or vulgar statements, personal threats, and statements reasonably perceived to be disruptive or imminently threatening to the orderly operation of the meeting shall not be permitted. Please note that while the board listens carefully to all comments, it does not respond during this time. You may be referred to a board committee, the administration, or held over for further discussion at a subsequent meeting as appropriate. Ms. Davis, do we have any speakers tonight?
We do. We have 2. I'll call Mr. John Miziak, followed by Mr. Jim Peterson. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Board. I know you've already made your proposal to the Board of Commissioners for next year's spending. I just want to mention, Harnett County currently pays teacher supplements 12% above state wage. The Board of Education in Harnett County is proposing an additional $4 million be added to their budget to increase this annual teacher pay supplement. Harnett is a Tier 2 county. Chatham County pays teacher supplements beginning at $7,000 per year for their newest teachers and increasing to $10,000 a year for the more experienced teachers. Chatham, like Moore, is a Tier 3 county. Moore County provides an 8% teacher supplement, making us non-competitive with those nearby counties. We already have far too many teachers' vacancies in Moore County. Is it surprising? Another thing I'll add, Moore County government has, like the school district does, a 401k plan, and certainly Moore County employees also participate in a state retirement plan, like school employees do. Moore County government employees also receive a 3% match to their employee contributions to their 401k plans. I don't believe the school district has such a match for their employees. Why not? Thank you.
Before I get started, I want to say I absolutely agree with John Miziak. I heard Steve Johnson, David Hensley talk about locality pay. Counties around us get it. We don't. If you want the best, you got to pay for the best. Good evening, board members. I'm here tonight as a taxpayer asking a simple question. Why are Moore County legal bills so much higher than other comparable counties? Lee County spends $40,000 a year on legal services. Harnett County spends about $100,000. Moore County taxpayers are facing roughly $600,000 or more. To put that in perspective, at $90,000 per teacher, $600,000 could fund 7 teachers every year. 7 teachers, 7 classrooms, 7 direct investments to students. Why this matters, at some point it stops looking like normal spending and starts looking like a policy leadership problem. Lee County has already proven policies in place. They have policy 2610 creates disciplined oversight when legal counsel is used. And policy 2335 requires detailed legal billing reports so board members and taxpayers can see those requested invoices, why and what they cost. We do not need to reinvent the wheel. We can adopt proven policies that already work. This issue is not new. Board member David Hensley has been raising these concerns for over 3 years now. He brought them up repeatedly under previous leadership, and those concerns were dismissed, as though saving taxpayer money is not a priority. For 3 years, he was the only consistent voice pushing for stronger financial controls and accountability, which has been ignored. This should concern every taxpayer. But we have good news. Now Interim Superintendent Jenny Purvis appears serious about fiscal responsibility, and this is very encouraging. But real accountability can't depend on one person or just two. It requires permanent policy. If taxpayers are expected to fund these expenses, then taxpayers deserve transparency. Every monthly agenda packet should include detailed expense reporting for legal services. Accountability is not anti-board. Transparency is not political. Fiscal discipline is leadership. Moore County families work hard for their money, and to accept the unnecessary waste when those dollars could go directly into classrooms. Let's do better, adopt proven policy, demand transparency, and save taxpayer money. Put students first. Thank you. I have my little prop here. Thanks.
All right, thank you very much. We're at item 6, alternative accountability model participation for the Community Learning Center at Pinckney 2026-2027. I'll turn it over to you, Ms. Purvis.
Thank you so much, Dr. Calcutt. We have Kate Fall with us tonight. As you'll remember, she shared this in our work session. When we take a look at accountability participation for Community Learning Center at Pinckney, we are requesting to move forward with the same options that we have in the past. Ms. Fall's here to answer any questions, and this does come with my recommendation.
Here to answer any questions you have. We are recommending option B, which is 20% student persistence, 20% proficiency, 60% growth. And then the second option is to use 3 years of CLC data if they have a situation where they don't have enough data to calculate. Here for any questions you have.
Okay, do we have a motion to approve the 2026-27 option B for the alternative schools accountability model participation, and plan to use option 2, 3 years worth of data for the school performance grade calculation in the event there is not enough data? Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Ms. Davis. Do we have a second? Second. Second by Dr. Dahl. Time for discussion or questions. All right, hearing none. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, motion carries. Thank you.
Madam Chair, can we take a 5-minute break, please?
Yes, sir. All right, we'll take a 5-minute recess.
Recess, yes, break.
we're ready, we'll move back into open session. And we're at item B, increase your requisition for legal fees.
Thank you so much. We have Ms. Edmonds coming up. As presented at the work session, the original requisition was for $600,000. In order to be able to cover the estimated legal fees through June, Ms. Edmonds is requesting an increase to that requisition for $60,000, and it does come with my recommendation.
Okay. All right, do we have a motion to approve the requisition for an additional $60,000 for legal fees at this time? Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Dr. Dahl. Do we have a second? Second. Thank you, Mr. Benway. Any discussion or questions?
Yeah, I have a discussion.
Okay.
Obviously, we have two closely related things here. We have this agenda item where we're looking to increase the amount of the existing contract for legal fees, and the next item is selection of a law firm. So they're they're a lot intertwined. I'm going to vote against the motion, and here's why. This is, the reason why we're in this pickle is just lack of discipline and lack of procedures, Mr. Peterson had a sign there, but surrounding counties, Cumberland County, much bigger than us, they spent $557,000 in legal fees. Ours is, if you count legal fees per student, ours is 4 times higher than Cumberland County, 4 times higher. Lee County, $60,000 in legal fees. We're 7.4. I mean, we're homing in. We're going to spend $660,000 when this year, when Lee County, adjoining county, spent $60,000, right? Richmond County spent $82,000. Remember, I asked for this during the work session, surrounding counties. Harnett County, $9.91 per student, $200,000. Randolph County, $231,000. If you want it per student, we're 4 times more. County is spending 4 times more on legal fees than Cumberland County, 7.4 times more than Lee County, 3.6 times more than Richmond County, 4.8 times more than Harnett County, and 3 times more than Randolph County. But the interesting thing about it, Mr. Schwartz charges $180 an hour, which is less expensive than other law firms, right? This is not and I've been like the lone wolf in the woods crying about this for 3 years. I first identified this in the second term in Levy. Our legal fees jumped 50-60% that year, right? And every year I've been talking about this. Legal fees, we need to get it under control. We need to do it. And the previous 3 years in a row, I pointed this out. Then the only reason people know about it now is when Miss Purvis got in, she realized that this is $600,000 more than the surrounding communities. Anyway, this is a process failure. This is not a failure of an attorney charging too much. This is a failure of a school board who didn't do their oversight in overseeing runaway expenses, even though they were put on notice of this particular expense 3 years in a row. This is a failure of an administration who, didn't care that we were spending 4 times more, 7 times more than our surrounding community. So I'm going to vote against this because, the school board had warning, the central office had warning, and they failed to take action, and now they're coming back to the school board and asking for more money, and I'm just not going to support that. We should not be spending 3 to 7.5 times more per student on legal fees in surrounding counties, and I'm not going to vote to continue it. Thank you.
All right, any other discussion? Dr. Dahl, did you want to?
I guess I will say one thing, that whether we need to reduce our legal spending or not, we need legal services for the remainder of this year. And that is what this addendum is for.
Can I say Yes, ma'am, Ms. Bruno.
I'm not sure what I have to say comes under this or under, what's the next one on this?
Item C,
Uh,
selection of law firm.
yeah, wait.
I'm just
hold
going to
on.
make my comments twice.
Oh, is that what
Arlene,
you're
so you
gonna
might
do?
want to consider
Okay,
that.
the selection of law firm. Yeah, I'm not sure if what I have to say, but I think Amy's right on this, that we have to pay for the rest of the year. We have to pay for our services. And I'll say whatever I'm supposed to say next.
Okay.
But I agree with Amy.
All right, thank you, ma'am. Anybody else? I just want to say that our top 4 matters by category include board matters and policies. There's a lot of work with our policy work. Our second top matter is exceptional children in 504, that we have to make sure that we're doing due diligence there. Number 3 is personnel, and number 4 is litigation and pre-litigation. So I just want to make sure that that's clear, and I agree with Dr. Dahl and Ms. Bruno that we have to pay for these services for the rest of the year. Was there anyone else? All right, hearing no other discussion, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay, thank you, sir. All right, motion carries. All right, now we're at item C. Let me get there. Selection of law firm. And I've asked Ms. Purvis to read our executive summary for me.
All right, I'll go through the executive summary. As interim superintendent, I will support the preference of the board on this decision. During the Board of Education regular business meeting on March 9th, 2026, Board Chair Robin Calcutt presented a standard RFP which listed but was not limited to the requirements that the board was looking for, and a deadline for proposals to be submitted by 2 p.m. on April 15th, 2026. As of that deadline, the board and the interim superintendent received 2 proposals, which included Schwartz Law, PLLC, and Pointer Spruill Law Firm. On April 21st, 2026, board members Dr. Robin Calcutt and Ken Benway, along with the interim superintendent, myself, interim assistant for superintendent human resources Corey Satterfield, deputy superintendent Jamie Sinan, assistant superintendent for academics Stephanie Phillips, and Director for Student Support Services, Dr. Molly Capps, met with the 2 firms who submitted proposals, Schwartz Law and Pointer Spruill. After meeting with both firms, the panel is recommending that we move forward with Pointer Spruill Law Firm effective July 1, 2026. Pointer Spruill has 90 attorneys within their firm, with 11 being in their dedicated education law practice. The other practice groups within their firm include bankruptcy, business organizations and transactions, construction data and privacy and information security, economic development, employment, financial services, immigration, intellectual property, land use, litigation, real property, tax, trust, and estates. Their bench of education attorneys is deep, and their ability to utilize information from the other groups within their practice to support MCS will contribute to their efficiency and effectiveness at the same rate of cost. Pointer Spruill noted, we are dedicated to teaching and training our client school boards and their administrators to avoid work problems and practices that might result in liability. Our attorneys work closely with our clients to establish practical and useful training and education. We believe strongly in preventive practices and pragmatic training. In regards to special education law as one of the most litigated areas, they shared that they provide their clients with advice and strategies for avoiding liability and counsel that is not only legally sound, but also operationally practical. They believe their approach helps public school boards manage legal costs without compromising access to experienced, high-quality legal services. If the board approves the agreement with Pointer Spruill, the interim superintendent will begin working with Pointer Spruill Law Firm to transition legal services effective July 1, 2026. And Mr. Batchelor, if you could please pull up the agreement. Just to give some overview, in the agreement, one of the things they're dedicated and we've asked for is building the capacity of staff. Pointer Spruill also agrees to break down the bill into departments and note the initials of the individual at MCS who is working on the item, as well as noting attorneys in a workable document for our finance, which has requested that. When we look at their rates, no monthly retainer will be charged. We currently have a $5,000 monthly retainer. Travel and meals to and from our offices here at Moore County Schools will not be charged since Pointer Spurl does have an office in Southern Pines. North Carolina legal and paralegal services will be billed at the following rates. Standard rates are $235 an hour for a partner, $215 for an associate, $95 for a paralegal. Special education litigation rates will be an hourly rate, and that is once it goes to litigation, of $325 an hour for partners, $275 per hour for associate attorneys, and $105 hour for paralegal, billed in tenth of an hour increments. I will note that 8 of the 11 education law attorneys are partners, which ensures that work can be done quickly. In addition, the firm will have a flat expense charge of $11.50 per billed hour, calculated in lieu of photocopy and postage, fax, and other administrative assistant expenses, so we will not incur that monthly charge for those things. This can be done away with at any point in time. We are not in a contract necessarily. It is an engagement with the legal firm, but there is no obligation on the board's behalf to retain them for any certain amount of time.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. That was a lot. I appreciate that.
Yes, ma'am.
So do we have a motion to approve the agreement with Pointer Spruill, the interim superintendent? If we do, we'll begin working with them to transition legal services effective July 1st, 2026. Do we have a motion? Okay. Do we have a second? Okay. It's time for discussion. All right, Mr. Hensley or Ms. Bruno, you want to go?
So,
first? Okay.
Did you want to go first?
real quick, I'll be brief.
Okay.
I was asked to sit on this panel the night before, and I came to this task determined to use the entirety of the presentations by each firm to make my judgment. I found that the Pointer provided the energy, the intellect, and the team approach that really appealed to me. They brought to the table the broad range of capabilities that they could tap into that the superintendent just outlined. I want to say that I have great admiration for Rich Schwartz and the work he's done with us. I think he's a great lawyer. Sometimes it just falls out the way it has fallen out. I'm completely satisfied with the approach we took and the decision we made. Thank you.
Yeah, I was not on this committee, so I don't have the advantage of knowing what Ken or anybody else on the committee has. But first thing I'm going to say is Moore County Schools has been sued by Pointer. How do you say their name? Spruill? They have been sued in the past by this law firm. The newspapers are saying all this about our legal fees, but I want to know whose fault it really is. We have no policies like Lee County has. Lee County requires their attorney to give a report of all the fees during the month. We never hear that because we don't have that policy. We hold nobody accountable because we don't have any policies on this. Everybody's pointing a finger without looking at themselves. The Schwartz law firm is asked to be at meetings where they're really not needed. Needless phone calls are made to them where it's my opinion that should be the chair's job to intercept these phone calls, or it should be the superintendent's job. I'm not saying that the fees aren't high, because above all, I always think of the taxpayer first. During the sod at Union Pines, I always asked where that money was going. For the Carthage School District, for buying that real estate in Carthage, I always asked where that money was going from. Actually, for our new superintendent search, I've been preaching that I thought it was a waste of time, effort, and taxpayer money because we have the best right here in Moore County. So don't say that I'm not concerned about the taxpayers' money, because I have always put that first. But I think we're pointing fingers here at the wrong people. The Schwartz Law Firm has done wonders. They have always been here for us. They're ahead of the game. They do a terrific job. They give us great advice. And I just am disappointed in the way that this whole thing has been handled, because I think it's our fault. I do not think it's the fault of the Schwartz Law Firm. I think it's our fault. We held nobody accountable for this. Yeah, it's a lot of money, and yes, we could certainly do something about it, but don't point fingers when you should be looking at yourself, that it's our fault. That's all I have to say.
All right, thank you, ma'am. Mr. Hensley?
So, thank you. So who was on, so this search team, it was Ms. Purvis?
Yep. Scroll down a little bit, Mr. Bachelor, so you can see
So
it.
we had.
Or scroll up, sorry.
Dr. Calcutt, Mr. Ken Benway, myself, Deputy Superintendent Jamie Sinan, Assistant Superintendent Stephanie Phillips, Director of Student Support Services, Molly Capps, HR Assistant Superintendent Corey Satterfield. These are the departments that are the areas where legal gets used a lot.
So I got to ask someone, so I'll ask the chair, what was it? I wasn't there, obviously. Most of the board wasn't there. The public wasn't there. What was the thought behind the team, the search team, if I could call it that, voting unanimously, right, to select this other, what was the purpose of changing the law firm?
Well, partly, there was a lot of reasons. The cost is a factor, and that goes without saying. We also felt like we needed more support with training for our staff. Schwartz Law Firm has done an amazing job and offers a lot of benefits, but there were some things that the staff said that they needed more support with. And basically, what's listed on the executive summary.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Charlie, can you scroll down, please? Keep going. Is there any attachments on this? Yeah, keep going. Looking for the attachments. Yeah, a copy of the contract. Yeah, right there. So I thought the answer might be to save money. And if you scroll down, please. Right there. Their base rate for an associate is more than what Schwartz Law Firm charges for a principal. Their hourly rates for an attorney are 30 to 80% more than the Schwartz Law Firm per hour. So how are we going to save money if we're spending more per hour, 30 to 80% per hour?
I can address that, and it's uncomfortable to address
Yeah.
because I have great appreciation for Mr. Schwartz and great respect for the fact that he's given us. So, but to address that, one of the things that kept coming up from every department was number one, the time that it took, in other words, the bandwidth. Number two, the fact that an associate would handle something, they thought they were almost finished, like most recently our EBS license, which we had to pause and do something different, because then once it is reviewed by Mr. Schwartz, who's the partner, there are changes to it, and then we have to go back. A couple of other things that were pointed out by staff members was they felt like building capacity of their departments in order to move forward. Those are just a couple of things, and I like I say, I hesitate to give information because I have great respect for Mr. Schwartz, but if we're just talking about what those departments had issues with, asking for some flow charts. I know one of the folks asked in the interview, is that possible for us to get? The response from Schwartz was, yes, we can get that, to which the follow-up after that was, I've been asking for that since October and have not gotten it yet, and this is April. Staff felt like Pointer Spurl's approach to that would build capacity within staff members instead of ensuring that they had to continue to call for everything.
So let me say this in response. I've had my differences with Mr. Schwartz, and 100% of them have been right here for everyone to watch. So you guys know 100% what my disagreements are. But like Ms. Bruno, I think this is a failure of Moore County schools. I mean, if you look, 50% increase, 30%, year over year increases, and that's a result, in my opinion, of there's several things, right? But primarily it's a lack of discipline, and it's a failure of this board, it's a failure of the previous board to take seriously, we're spending at a minimum 4 times more than the surrounding communities. And this is really a school board failure. It's a school board failure to provide oversight. It's a school board failure to realize that our actions and what we task others to do have chain effects of legal bills, even picking up a phone and calling an attorney. Fundamentally, and I've been very consistent about this, and everyone here has actually said it, or most people said it earlier today, the Schwartz law firm, very, very competent work. Their billing is $180 an hour. That's a bargain on attorneys, and it's less expensive than their associate. So my number one issue is I'm concerned that, the way we're really going to save money is we're going to use the attorney less, right? And you can do that by spending less you'll save even more if you spend less per hour and use the attorney less, rather than use the attorney less and spend more per hour. The other thing I'll point out is an inconsistency in that I heard that this selection team said, well, they're worried about the capacity. But now I think I know what you were talking about, because when you're talking capacity, it's like we want more. No, we want less. You were concerned about throughput.
Building the capacity of our individual senior staff
for
members
quickness.
here.
Building the capacity of our people.
So that when we
Right.
have routine decisions that are made over and over, that there are charts and we've built the capacity of folks so that they can make those decisions when it's routine things that are within their legal purview as their job allows.
Yeah. Let me ask, we have an incumbent here in the room. Let me ask, so Mr. Schwartz, let's say there was a change of leadership at Moore County Schools and the new superintendent said, I'm kind of fiscally responsible and I'm concerned about the taxpayers' money. Therefore, I would like you to train our people so we don't have to call you all the time, or maybe you could do a template is that stuff you can do?
Our current contract provides for, I believe it's 8 workshops a year, and and our proposal listed pages of several pages worth of workshops that we can provide that the school system hasn't been using, and that's built in as part of the retainer.
I will say I did look into that because I know your folks are going to ask, why haven't we utilized that? We did utilize that in the beginning. The recommendation of the prior assistant superintendent for human resources was that we not do that again because it did not go well. And I wasn't here, but when I asked that question, that was the answer that I got.
Yeah, so anyway, I just in summary, by the way, just to be clear, I think that the fiscally responsible interim superintendent sitting right here, in case you were going talking about some future. But anyway, again, I just question how we're going to save money by spending 30 to 80% per hour. The real money savings going to be quit quit hitting, I'm going to call the attorney button, maybe ask another board member who might know the answer because they've been here longer, maybe create templates, maybe take away people's direct access. I think that's what the, Pauline, correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't that what the Lee County, Pauline, the Lee County policy? Never mind. I think the Lee policy enforces discipline on who can call the attorney and reviewing attorney bills, right?
Monthly report
Yeah,
at every meeting.
Okay. And then in conclusion, I'll say, is this other firm bigger? Yes, they're absolutely bigger. They have more attorneys. Do they have more capacity? Sure. Are they cheaper? No. We know they're not cheaper because they bill higher. Are they better? I don't know. So we know they're bigger. We know their hourly rates are higher. And are they better? That's an unknown. Thank you.
I want to pop in with a couple questions. First of all, notice here, no monthly retainer will be charged. So what is our current monthly retainer?
5,000.
So that right there is a savings of $60,000 a year on this particular contract. So I'll just point that out.
I have a question.
Sure.
When I think of a retainer, I think of an advance payment that's applied to your bill. Is 100% of our retainer applied to the bill? Because all of a sudden I heard this thing about we get 8 trainings a year. I assume when it said retainer, it meant it just applied to your bill, which is the normal meaning of a retainer.
The retainer is a monthly amount, and for the retainer, we include certain services and a lower hourly rate. So, for example, we take $1,000 off the policy work, up to $1,000 off the policy work every month. So that effectively reduces the retainer to $4,000 on those months. And for workshops, we typically charge $3,000 a workshop. So you had 8 included in the monthly retainer amount.
I was just want to make sure that that was one thing that I noticed that was seemed pretty important. Also want to echo respect for Rich and his associates, not just him, but his associates that he brings along with him, have done really good work for us. I wanted to ask, just if you could discuss at a high level what the, because I know you checked some references on this firm, and could you address that at a high level, what the reference checks said?
Yeah, so our board chair wanted to make sure that we had done our due diligence, so we checked 3 references of the districts that they currently have, 3 of the larger districts. We asked the question, had they seen an increase in their billing? The answer of all 3 was no, that the way in which they move forward with each does in fact build the capacity. They've not seen an increase in billing. They said that the responsiveness of what they get from the firm when they ask questions is there, and all 3 gave glowing reviews.
Okay. Also want to say thank you for, so we were able to really dig into the legal bill. So Dr. Calcutt and I were able to sit and really look through all the legal bills because the costs are really unsustainable the way that they're tracking. And so we spent, I don't know how long it was, but it seemed like a few hours really digging in and seeing the categories and seeing where all the spending was happening. So I appreciate Rich's efforts on that. One thing that I will say that I noticed that I think as a fiscal budgetary sense that makes a lot of sense to me is our finance department does monthly department budget monitoring. And that's a really good and healthy practice to do for each department to look at their budgets, see what they're spending, see where they're coming out each month. And I noticed that when I was looking through this contract, in that number 1, if you'll scroll up for me, Charlie, that sentence there is really important for people to understand how important that is. Agreeing to break the bill down into departments and note the initials of individuals at MCS who are working on the item, as well as noting the attorney. And so I just think that's a really important practice moving forward so that our departments can be really in tight with how their spending is and what it looks like for the attorney fees. And so I just wanted to note that out. It's my understanding that this is one part of a multiple angle solution to this process, oversight, policy. Is there any discussion about policy changes, or is that something that's too preemptive of this meeting?
I think that we do need some work on policy 2610, which outlines specifics in terms of folks who talk with the lawyer and the structure of going through. And so that is on the agenda for our next policy meeting.
Gotcha. Well, that's really all the questions I had. I just want to say that it's good to be a member of a team in a school system that doesn't just ignore problems or push them to the side, or if we see something that's unsustainable and we need to get a solution, that we bring multiple angles to it. And so I appreciate the approach on this. Thank you.
All right, anyone else?
I have a question for.
Okay, we'll get.
I haven't had a first round yet.
All right,
Okay,
go ahead.
No, I mean, I'm
Dr. Dahl, then Ms. Davis. Are you
Doesn't
okay with
matter.
that?
That's fine.
Dr. Dahl?
Okay, I want to echo what my colleagues have said and recognize Rich and the service that he and his firm have provided to us, which I have greatly appreciated and always felt, extreme confidence in his understanding of the landscape of education law. Since this consideration of a new law firm is embedded in the issue of concern about costs, and they do have a different cost structure, not having a retainer and having, different hourly fees and different transportation and stuff. And also, since I was not part of the committee, I would like to know if we did any modeling to, for example, look at what the services were that we got in a month or over some period of time, and what they might be under this proposed contract with, see if I can say it, Pointer Spruill. Have we done any modeling of that kind?
I think that the ability to produce a model like that, we'd have to have, number one, and Ms. Edmonds, you can correct me if I'm wrong, we'd have to have the bill in a different way that we could manipulate that bill. Otherwise, it would all be hand done, which would take a long time. Hundreds and hundreds of pages of billing. When we interviewed the firm, and I will let Mr. Benway or Dr. Calcutt speak to this because this is a board decision. I think the manner in which Pointer Spruill, and I'm speaking for my staff members that were on here, the manner in which they were moving forward to tackle those things appeared that it was going to be more efficient.
I agree with that. Does that answer your question, Dr. Dahl, or did you have anything else you wanted?
It answers that
Yeah.
specific question.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sitting here wrestling with the fact that my responsibility is oversight, and yet meaningful oversight can include delegating responsibility to look at the details to specific people, and that's why we have committees and so forth.
Okay, Ms. Davis.
I just had a question for Ms. Bruno about, or not, you said that Pointer Spruill had sued us in the past.
Yes.
Do you know any specifics?
No, I don't know
that?
about it, but I know that they did.
Did they represent, or you don't know any specifics?
No, but I know that they did.
Okay. Well, they could have been hired to do such, or Mr. Benway, do you have?
No, it's kind of what lawyers do.
That's what they do.
That's
yeah.
true.
Okay. Well, that's.
Nothing.
That's what I was thinking. Was there something
personal?
Yeah.
There's nothing
Well,
personal
that's
directed at
that's
us.
what I was. If there was something
take that personally.
underlying.
Why?
You can't take that
'Cause.
personal. Okay, thank you. That's all I had. Other than that, Mr. Schwartz has done a fantastic job for us. I did want to.
I
say
have
that.
more to say.
Okay, go ahead, Ms. Bruno.
Okay, you were saying that a lot of people didn't think that the Schwartz law firm supported, that they didn't have support.
No, I didn't
Like,
say that.
yeah, Jenny said that.
The bandwidth, in other words, the amount, the timeliness of the support that was given, and the structure in which they built the capacity. We have a lot of new staff members who've come
Okay.
in a while. Dr. Patterson was new to HR. Corey Satterfield is in there now, both Deputy Superintendent Sinan and Assistant Superintendent Ms. Phillips. Building the capacity, Molly Capps in Title IX and Student Services, building the capacity of those folks instead of just sending, getting back, sending, getting back.
So
And
tell
that
me, why
was-
didn't they ask for it?
Yes, ma'am, they expressed that they did.
Oh, they
Dr.
did.
Molly Capps asked in October, could they get a flow chart that would assist with simple Title IX principles determining, where does this need to go next? It's April, and she still didn't have that chart.
Okay.
The answer in the meeting was, yes, we can get you that chart. But she shared with us in the debrief, I asked for that chart in October.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. The other thing that I'm reading about this law firm is they do a lot of hiring based on DUI. There doesn't say anything about merit. Or did I say DUI? I'm sorry, everybody. I didn't mean that. Oh, geez. On diversity, equity, and inclusion. And they don't talk about merit. All they talk about is that. And that doesn't go over very big with me. It's, let's see, what do they say? For our multifaceted legal practice, diversity, equity, and inclusion within the firm is important to the quality of legal work. Well, you don't have quality of legal work unless you hire the best, unless it's on the merit. And that's all I have to say.
All right, thank you, ma'am. Any other comments? I just want to say that this was a hard decision. I think the world of Rich Schwartz and his law firm, and as a board, we have to be responsible for our finances, our ability to serve our public, our students, and this did come with the recommendation of the committee. And we had a strong team, and we really appreciate the time that they spent thinking about this important decision. So at this time, all those in favor of, I'm so sorry.
No, I was just gonna.
I didn't see that.
One more. Oh, did you have?
No, go ahead.
Okay.
Sorry.
I thought I was bringing it home.
All
Okay.
good. You bring it
All
home.
right, Mr. Johnson.
Yeah, I just wanted to reiterate a thanks to Rich and his team, but also, from this point forward, if we do vote to move forward with this, it's on us, right? It's on our accountability to the process, to oversight, to monitoring. It's on us to make sure that we hold the legal firm accountable for a billing model that we can effectively monitor and that we can provide oversight on. And I think that, to me, is the biggest way that you regulate or you have any kind of financial accountability. You have to have the monitoring and the data in place to actually know what's going on. And so I think, to me, that's the biggest positive to this, is that in the future we can be sure to make that happen. So I just wanted to mention that. I think and it is on us, And now we've got this on record, and if we move this direction, now we can share with the public where we stand, what it looks like, how are we improving and doing the best that we can. So that's all I had to say.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Hensley?
Yeah, I'm kind of all over the board on this. I was going to vote for these people, but I'm not going to vote for an organization that comes out and says we use DEI to ensure that we hire the best, because diversity, equity, and inclusion by definition means you are not hiring the best. And just like if I was having open heart surgery, I want the thoracic surgeon team who's operating on me to hire people based upon merit, not based upon superficial things such as their gender, the color of their skin, where they grew up. I want the best heart surgeon, and I want the best attorneys representing me. So therefore, I'm voting against these people because I don't think that their values closely align with the values of Moore County, and we don't need to import more people whose values do not align with ours. Secondly, to Mr. Johnson's point, and to Ms. Bruno's point, the issue is not that Mr. Schwartz charges too much. Maybe he overextended himself and was not timely on stuff. I think we would all accuse him of that. in a couple areas. But I'm not sure how, we're not going to save money by paying more per hour. We're going to save money by having things that we're going to do ourselves. And we're going to do those things ourselves and pay 30% more hours doesn't make sense. If we're going to do it ourselves, then we would save an extra 30% because we're going to pay 30% less per hour. So for those two reasons, I'm voting against the Pointer people. Pointer Sproul, I believe is how you pronounce it.
I guess I just want to make an observation and have the interim superintendent reflect back to me whether I'm correct or not. Building capacity could result in a savings to us that would not appear in the legal bill, correct?
Correct. That would mean more that our folks have the capacity and understanding and knowledge to do.
Right. But Ms. Dahl, I think the point is that the Schwartz law firm could have done that if they were asked. If the previous superintendent had asked them to do that, the Schwartz law firm probably would have done that. If either the last two chairs would have asked, if the last two school boards would have asked them to do that. The point is, we all contributed to it. The last superintendent was not concerned about the runaway legal bills because when they went up 50%, this is germane. Okay, the person preceding the interim superintendent was not concerned about it because I pointed out the 50% increase like 3 months the following year. So the problem has not been that they're billing too much per hour. The problem has been that Moore County Schools is using them too much. It's a discipline problem by lack of oversight from a school board that knew about it. And the reason I know the school board knew about it is because I've talked about it for 3 years in a row. The pilot reported it. You can go back and see where the pilot reported.
The pilot reported false allegations you made against me. That I had made a bunch of calls to Rich asking to learn how to be a board member.
Okay.
Now, I would like to ask
Ms. Dawes, Chair, she's out of order.
The chair
I have the floor,
and
now we've got this outburst. If you could restore order, please, she can have a chance to.
All right, Dr. Dahl, hang on just a minute. Let Mr. Hensley finish your statement, please.
Well, I forgot where I was at, so give me a minute to regather my thoughts. The point of the matter is the school board at large, and for some reason my colleague got all offended and got defensive when I was talking of the board as a whole. I talked about the previous school board. I was talking about the board as a whole. Now, if your conscience is bothering you, that's a separate
Madam
issue.
Chair.
Okay, all right.
Madam
that's
Chair,
enough. All right,
the
thank
member
you.
is out of order if he's
Yeah.
complaining about previous school board actions.
All
Oh
right,
my
yes,
God.
Dr. Dahl.
The point, look, the previous school
Wrap it
board
up.
did not, we talked about.
Madam Chair,
Yeah,
it's out of order for him to complain about previous school board actions.
it is. Mr. Hensley, thank you.
It is.
All right.
I
Dr. Dahl.
challenge the ruling of the chair. How's it out of order to point out the actions of a previous school board that's absolutely relevant to what we're talking about?
Well,
It's
going
in
down a
Robert's
rabbit
rules. I don't
hole.
have it with me.
Robin's rules. All right, no. All right. No, it's definitely not my rules, and I'm trying to find them. But it is, in our policy not to bring up.
Well, point out the policy. This is
Mr. Schwartz, do you
absolutely
have the policy
absolutely
off the top of your
relevant
head?
to the discussion at hand is the inaction of previous boards.
Okay, you've said it multiple times.
If you got to challenge the ruling of the chair, you need to vote on it.
Okay. All in favor of a challenge of what?
Do we vote to sustain or to challenge?
The challenge is that Mr.
Then I call
Hensley
him
is
out of
challenging the ruling of the chair that he's out of order to be discussing anything dealing with the previous board.
Okay.
And is the vote to support the challenge or sustain the ruling?
The vote is whether to support the ruling of the chair.
The fact that
All right, Mr. Hensley, let us vote, please, sir.
Okay, let's
All right,
vote.
so
This illustrates why our attorney bills are so high, because we have two PhDs here who don't know Robert's rules, who
thank
need
you.
an attorney
I
here
don't have to use it
strictly
every day.
because you don't know
All
Robert's
right,
rules.
Mr. Hensley, you're out of order.
You
Let us,
bought
let
everyone
us
a
get
copy
to
of
that
Robert's rules.
point that
Nobody
you
has it
made.
here.
Let's
Robin,
get us to the point.
I don't understand what we're going to vote
Okay,
on. Would you
you're-
explain
You're
it?
going to vote if I'm saying that he is out of order for bringing up previous board members in his argument. So we do have a policy. I can't remember the number off the top
I'm
of
sure
my
I didn't
head.
bring up previous school boards. I
But-
brought board members. You said I brought up previous school boards acting as a whole, refusing to act on this, and how that was related to runaway billing. And you said I was out of order. That's what you're voting on,
Yeah, Dr.
is whether or
Dahl-
not her ruling
Dr.
was
Dahl
correct.
brought up the item. I agree. I
And
believe
neither
you're
one
out
of you all
order.
can cite, you cite a policy in Robert's rules. Neither one of you can pull up a policy, and neither one of you brought the copy
All
of
right,
Robert's
it's not
rules
about
that you
me,
gave
David,
everyone.
and it's not about you.
You're the
Let's-
chair. You
let's-
made the
it's-
rule.
but it's
Point
not-
out the
it's
policy or
not
point
about
out
me
Robert's
or
rules.
you right now.
Right, it's about,
Let us
it,
move
it,
on.
it's about following our policy and
Well,
Robert's
if
rules.
you'll give me a chance, I'll be glad to do that.
Okay, good. Provide the policy or
Give
the
me
part
a
in
minute.
Robert's,
In fact, I'm
please.
gonna take a 5-minute recess.
Great idea.
and what I found, Mr. Hensley, is that we do follow Robert's rules, and we want to make sure that, according to Robert's Rules 4324, we refrain from speaking adversely on a prior action not pending. We want to make sure that we avoid members' names in debate. And at this point, we're at the place where I'd like to call the board to vote.
Wait, I'm sorry.
If
Can you say
you,
those again? I didn't.
yeah.
Robert's Rules.
Robert's
what?
Rules, section 4320, not that one. Excuse me, hang on.
And what about our policy? Was there not a policy?
It's that we follow Robert's Rules.
Oh.
And it's number 4324, refraining from speaking adversely on a prior action not pending. So at this time, I'd like to have a vote on whether our board members feel like I was correct in calling him out of order. So all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed?
Nay.
Okay, motion carries. So at this time, let's try to continue the conversation. Dr. Dahl, did you have anything you wanted to add before we vote on this issue?
I wanted to ask the two members who jointly performed some scrutiny of recent legal bills whether they were able to resolve this question of whether calls to the attorney, undisciplined calls to the attorney by members not consulting the chair, were indeed, as has been alleged, a source of our high legal bills.
Well, I don't have that in front of me. No, that was not. Typically, I'm the only one that calls our attorney. Now, he may call board members, on an issue that they need to input information or a question that, he might have for them. But no, typically all calls come through me. And that's a rare occasion. If there's an issue that I need to talk to Mr. Schwartz with about something on our board agenda, that's typical. Or a process that I need some help with.
Thank you.
Mr. Benway, did you have anything to add?
I know of no instances when a board member called direct and caused billing to occur.
Okay. Mr. Johnson, did you see that?
I concur. That's been my experience too. I've not had a reason to call the attorney for any matter, and that's usually handled through the board chair. And when we discussed it in depth, it was noted that that was not anything close to a significant cost.
Okay, so at this time, are there any other, just anybody that didn't have a chance?
Yeah, I've got.
I'm sorry.
Okay, you've already had 2 times. We've got to make sure everybody has a chance. Ms. Davis.
I was just going to say that board matters don't necessarily mean direct communication with the board, that oftentimes the heads of our departments are handling matters on behalf of the board via the, through the lawyer, and then that trickles down to us through closed sessions and things like that. So just because you see that it's a board matter does not mean that direct communication has been made with a specific board member concerning something.
Okay, thank you. That's a good point. All right, this is round 3.
I just have one comment.
Okay.
I will be reviewing the legal bills, and I will provide exact examples that these people went on the record saying didn't exist. I actually have a few in my email, but I will come and get fresher copies of it. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. So at this time, we have a motion on the table. All in favor of approving the agreement with Pointer Sproul to transition legal services effective July 1st, 2026, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay, motion carries 5-2. Oh, we have an abstain. I didn't see that. Okay. All right, thank you very much. Let's move back to
Can we
our
confirm
agenda.
as an abstention a yes vote?
And an abstaining vote is a vote for the positive.
All right, we are at item D, educational broadband service. I'll turn it over to you, Ms. Purvis.
Thank you. I'll ask Mr. Eklund to come up. As you'll remember, in our last work session, Mr. Eklund went over several things applying to this. I'm just going to ask him to go back through. This is added. This is the culmination and the finality of this sale. And so if you would just briefly review that, Mr. Eklund, and this does come with my approval.
Yes, thank you. This is the final agreements
for the sale of our FCC EBS license, call sign WND 399. As you're aware, that was on the consent agenda to accept the bid from T-Mobile in the amount of $915,000. There's actually two agreements that are part of completing this transaction. One is a spectrum lease contract, which permits T-Mobile to lease the EBS license during the sale process, the approval through the FCC. While we don't receive any money directly from T-Mobile during the lease, it's advantageous to us because it permits us to turn down equipment that we currently have to rent at a cost of $600 a month that we had to have to maintain the license. The second agreement is the actual license sale for $915,000, as you approved in the bid. The agreements have been fully reviewed by attorneys on both sides of the transaction. Once we deduct the $55,750 marketing fee that you also approved in the consent agenda, we will net a proceeds of $859,250. We already have a spending plan for this to cover recurring costs for the technology department for licensing. I gave some examples in the executive summary. Of course, we would come to you for those approvals, but just wanted to assure you that we did have a spending plan, and this is part of it. Reducing the slope of the ESSER cliff is kind of the way we're looking at it. These are needs that we have, and this assists us significantly over the next 3+ years in our costs.
So just to be very clear, none of the items that you see that are planned for this money are items that you would be approving tonight. These are just items that would come back to you when it is time for those contracts to be handled. So all you're approving tonight is the recommendation to approve the lease agreement and the sale agreement with T-Mobile.
Okay, thank you very much. Do we have a motion to approve the lease agreement and sale agreement with T-Mobile for the EBS license, call sign WND 399 in the amount of $915,000? Do we have a motion? Motion by Ms. Davis. Do we have a second?
Second.
All right, double seconds here for Dr. Dahl and Mr. Benway. All right, any discussion?
I just wanted Mr. Eklund to point out once again where the starting figure was and where it ended up, and thank you for the work that you did to get us to where we got to today. Go ahead.
I'm not going to break any confidentiality agreements, but I can tell you that in this process, we have received maximum value for this. We did do a value assessment through our marketing agreement, and this was very much in the range of where they said this was what it was really valued at. So,
Actually, at the high end.
well over the middle line of where we
All
are.
right,
So.
Yes, my point, sir, was to say thank you for a job well done.
I understand.
Thank you.
Good point.
No, thank you.
All right, hearing no other discussion, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. We're at item 7, interim superintendent's report.
All right, thank you so much, all of you, for being here. I did have a couple of questions. We presented the remote learning plan update at our work session. Had a couple of board members ask a question, so that makes me think that we might have school members or public who have a question as well. One of the questions was, what happens if students do not log on to that 15-minute Google Meet at the beginning of each class period? There is no penalty to the student for not logging on. What we're trying to do is ensure that the student has availability of a teacher for that first 15 minutes to set the stage for what the work is and what the day is going to be. And then after that 15 minutes, the teacher would be online if the student were to have questions. If a student does not have access to internet to get on that Google Meet, their attendance will be taken when they turn in their work. So there's two ways that attendance will be taken. Number one, if you're on the Google Meet, they automatically check you here. But number two, when you turn in your remote work and it's submitted, that also counts you as present. So I just wanted to clear that up because there is no mandate that a student has to be on there to receive any credit, but we wanted to ensure that we had teachers available for support. So I hope that makes sense. This is in an effort to just assure parents and students that should they need help and support, they will have the ability to do that and to get that during that remote day. I'd like to say thank you to all the students who were here tonight who were recognized. These students contribute to their school in a variety of ways, and this is just a small representation of all the great kids that we have in our school system. And lastly, I'd like to just say that we appreciate the work of all of the staff members at the school level. This is push time. They're headed towards the end of the year. We're headed towards testing, and I just really appreciate the dedication of all of our site level, school level staff members, because this is the point in time where, you know, it's getting down to the wire, and they're continuing to do great lessons and push those students each and every day. And to our students, I say, you know, hang in there. Let's work hard up until the last minute. We know spring fever has sprung, but we are proud of you for what you've learned this year, and we want to make sure that your results show it. So thank you.
All right, thank you, ma'am. All right, board members, comments?
I have comments.
Okay, all right, Ms. Bruno?
Yeah, I had the most fun tonight handing out the awards to these wonderful, to our wonderful, talented students, teachers, and the volunteers. I mean, what awesome students we have. I especially want to mention Navy Junior ROTC Aiden Salazar and Emily Aumann. I attended the change of command at Union Pines High School, and I am so awed by this program. You talk about great commanders, great teachers, great cadets. These are our future leaders, and what a job they are doing. It is absolutely fantastic. The respect I have for this program is just overwhelming. And the change of command was just, it was a wonderful thing to see the outgoing commander and the incoming commander have their grades are the highest. They just ooze leadership and respect, and it was wonderful. I loved every minute of it.
Thank you, ma'am. All right, anyone else?
Go ahead. You have something, Ms. Dahl?
No.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Mr.
I'd like to
Hensley.
go before Mr.
Okay.
Hensley. Thank you.
Okay.
Ms. Bruno, I could tell you're having fun up here, so it was nice to watch that, yeah. While you're doing that, it did make me feel a little old. Kylie Cameron was the student recognized, and worked with her mom, and I got to see her mom's mom, Becky Cameron, who was my mentor when I was a teacher. So it's great to see that family back again. I want to say I went to see the elementary and middle school robotics events the last 2 weeks, and these are outstanding events. They keep raising the game. Our students, you know, this is over 500, 600 students, elementary and middle, that are competing in robotics challenges that get harder every year. And what's really cool and satisfying for me to see it after all these years is now we're having staff children coming through. So as the staff goes and they're having their children, now I'm seeing the staff's children. So I got to see Jason's kids. I think Kate was also there. Really satisfying to see that, and great job by the DIF team for putting that on. I think I had one other thing, but now I forget what it was. Hold on for just a second. Dang it, I forget what the last one was, but that's a good one to end on, so thank you.
Okay. All right, Mr. Hensley?
Gosh, I'm afraid to say anything. I have two things. First, I'd like to thank Mr. Misiak, too bad he's not here, for doing the research that I've been meaning to do. He gave this little handout, which was a transcript of what he said. I knew we were behind on locality pay from surrounding counties, and I've been, once again, a lone voice in the woods for 4 years now, 3 years now, saying we need to revisit locality pay. People came up with a million excuses why we can't do it, and I'm hopefully this board will bring up locality pay. And by the way, locality pay, you know, Mr. Misiak, who I respect greatly, said teacher supplements, teacher supplements, teacher supplements. Locality pay should be more than about teachers. We can't forget about the rest of our certified staff and our classified staff. So hopefully this school board will take that seriously, and we can revisit our locality pay. I've been on this board 6 years, and we've never increased locality pay. surrounding counties have. I brought it up, zero interest from the board, zero interest from previous superintendents who claim that they're for teachers and for our people, but they never get around to revisiting locality pay. The second point I will make is, you know, we had a discussion about the runaway legal expenses. Here's the bottom line. If people had adhered my warnings earlier in this calendar year, we wouldn't have had to ask for another $60,000. And I sat here and did the math off the numbers of the chart that's been publicly available for 6 months or a few months after Ms. Purvis published it. And if my previous urgings to revisit this had not gone unheeded, we would have saved potentially $1.2 million over the last 3 years. And that would have been if we just would revert to the per pupil spending of our surrounding communities. If you take the average of that, it's about 3 times, 4 times less than ours, then we would have saved $1.3 million over the last 3 years. It's important that people listen when someone points it out. When someone points something out, whether you like them or not, whether you like how it's delivered or not, the truth is the truth, and people should listen to people who are voices in the woods. And hopefully we'll do the same with locality pay. Thank you.
All right, anyone else? Okay. Just to conclude, I just again want to reiterate congratulations to all of our recognitions this afternoon. Our teachers, our students, our staff, our community members. We cannot do it without you. We're so very proud, and you represent everyone in our district. We've had our Teacher of the Year banquet. It was Teacher Appreciation Week last week, and yes, I agree that we do need to raise our supplements, and we need to do it across the board, and I look forward to working with you all to make that happen. Our retirement reception's coming up this week, which is kind of bittersweet. We saw 2 of our future retirees here tonight. Just so proud of them and all of our retirees. Just want to say thank you to everyone that's been here tonight. You stayed long with us, even through the good, bad, and the ugly. Thank you for the time that you spend and all that you care for Union Pines, for Moore County Schools. I got Union Pines on the brain tonight. They were here in the house. So for all of our students, we really appreciate it. Thank you for your time and efforts and your comments. And so I want to close with our mission. Moore County Schools will graduate students with the skills, knowledge, character, critical thinking, and education needed to be proud and successful Americans. So at this time, board members, we need to move back into closed session. Do I have a motion? Okay, do we have a second? Okay, all in favor say aye.
That's for the reasons stated on the agenda.
For the reasons stated on the agenda. Thank you, Mr. Schwartz.